Hello, everyone. I am Jodi Ashbrook, and welcome to InspireMeTV. So today we are bringing you some inspiration. Again, if you've been following us, you've probably seen Lyn Toomey before share really her secrets on health and happiness and how to create as much of that as possible in your life. And she has been on this journey for quite some time in many different capacities. She's a nurse. She also teaches workshops really all over the world on stress management, health and happiness, meditation, and most exciting that we have to mention, she actually has a new book coming out, The Happiness Result, with the 7 principles of awesome. And I will let her explain more of that to you as we really get into today's topic. But we're really fortunate to have Debbie here with us today. But also, Debbie is going to be live in person. You can see her at Open Doors in Hingham. So Open Doors Yoga Studio in Hingham, Massachusetts. You can go to opendoorsyogastudios.com to learn more about those workshops. One at the end of the month in July, on July 30th, and then also at the end of the month in August. So check both of those out. A lot more details there. And again, really excited to bring her to you live and in the flesh right after the new book launch, which is happening very, very soon.
Yeah.
So welcome, Debbie. So excited to have you here with us again today.
Thank you, Jodi. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm raring to go.
Yeah. So, you know, we are today really going to spend some time talking about a topic that I think a lot of people have curiosity about, but they're not really sure where to go with it, or maybe just think it's too far out there, or it's just, you know, not even worth exploring. And that is really how to listen to your inner voice and your intuition. And how do you even do that? And why is it important? So that's what we're going to spend our time on today is, and I know that you had an article posted in the Huffington Post, which will be in the link of this episode in the description. And I loved reading that article because I think what you did is you took a topic that can be so broad and so confusing to people, and you really bring it down to earth. And you talk a lot about things that we can all connect to. So if we have a vision, if we have a dream, if we have something that we want to create for ourselves, how do we begin to know what that inner voice sounds like to guide us? And I also really enjoyed the article because you shared a lot about your own personal story and kind of what that message was like for you, and that process of listening to your own inner voice was like as well. So I'd love just to kind of open it up with, maybe you can share with us a little bit more of that piece from the article that, you know, you talked about how the voice got louder and louder. And you eventually had to listen.
Yes. Oh, well, it's something that just happened. This voice that woke me up, and this is something I wrote about in the article, a voice that was so clear and loud, but didn't really, it wasn't familiar. It wasn't a familiar voice, but it was there. And when I first heard it, I thought I was dreaming. And, you know, so, you know, just like when we have a bad dream or a dream that we kind of, that kind of shakes us a little bit, I don't know, we just kind of turn over, or in turning over, it's almost like equivalent to changing the channel on TV, right? So it just changes, hoping to get a better channel or a better dream. So that worked the first few times. And then what happened was it would keep waking me up in the morning. And eventually it got to a point where I was freaked out, like, where is this voice coming from, to, well, I do kind of want to do that. And the voice kept repeating, do stress management workshops. It was that simple. It was just one simple sentence, do stress management workshop. Where did that come from? 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 what it felt like something scary for me, it became a curiosity. And it helped me really unearth some of my deep-seated passion ever since I was a little girl, which is to help people feel better and also to teach people how they could do that and sustain it. So I went into the nursing track and been a nurse for most of my life in the Boston area. And what I wanted to do is to be able to take that a step further and to be able to teach people a preventative way of helping them feel better. And in order to do that, I had to speak in large groups. And that freaked me out because I didn't know how to be a public speaker. I was too nervous. I was too shy. But with this voice kept going on and on, waking me up, it just kind of led me into this beautiful trail of faith and stepping into my fear and finding answers and finding the opportunities that actually was there, but I didn't know was available until I started listening to the voice. So it was just, I'm getting goosebumps, even just explaining the stories, because after you listen to a voice like this and experience the magic that happens, I found that it's happened several times in the course of my life, and to a point where when it wakes me up, I just say, okay, I don't know how that's going to happen, but all right, let's see what unfolds. Give me signs. Give me signs along the way. Oh, I can't hear you, Jodi. No. No. I can't.
How about now?
Better. Yes.
Okay. Expect the unexpected, right?
Oh, that's the guides trying to prove themselves. And
Yes.
yeah, right? The positive energy saying, yes, you're here.
Yes. They're like, see, here's my question. I was getting ready to ask you, how do you know what the voice is? So if I'm watching this right now and I have never had this experience, where do I begin to understand this concept that you're sharing and what it might sound like for me?
The simplest way for me to explain to people how to trust and start working with your voice, or start acknowledging that it is your voice, your intuition, your inner voice, is if it's love-based, if it comes from your heart, if it somehow tries to express to you a passion that lies within. So there's no fear base in it. And as you notice, when I said the voice told me do stress management workshop, it didn't say, oh, don't do it because you're going to fail, or don't even think about it, or you're not the right person, or cut it out. So it was just simple. It was a neutral, almost like a command, but it was just like, it's a statement to say, do this. And for me, I knew there was no fear in that statement, but what the fear laid inside here. This was my limiting belief. And so as I learned to tune up the volume or the listening or intuitive muscle and entertaining that voice, the more I was able to suppress or quiet down the limiting belief of fear. And so much so that, you know, the proportion went this way. The fear never left, but the faith in following the voice and also my heart become bigger. And so that any type of notion of failure ended up being, you know what, if I don't do this, that's the failure. It's me not saying, oh, if I do this, if nobody shows up, I'm going to be a failure. No, the failure became, if I don't do this at all, that's the failure there. So I was able to reframe it, and God, that's such a gift to be able to do that and to be able to just reframe something that's been holding me back. So that's something that I suggest, a way to listen to your intuition is to tap into your heart and say, okay, where's this coming from? Is this really my truth? Or is this something that I've been wanting to go for?
So can you, and I know that you probably teach this in your workshops and definitely on your YouTube channel and your website, you have different resources on how to, where to begin with this. But if you could, if I'm a beginner and I'm watching this and kind of hearing about some of these things for the first time, but I'm really intrigued by this voice and the connection to the heart and overcoming fear-based thoughts, what is maybe one recommendation you could give me on how do I know when it's how do I know when the voice is there, and how do I make sure I'm listening to the place that's coming from, the love-based approach that you talk about, or the heart versus the fear?
One of the ways that I started doing it is just to start talking to it. So the more I talk to it, and the more I just I brought awareness to it. And the more I brought awareness to it, the more it reminded me, it's like, oh, I'm not alone. I have my inner voice here, and start asking it to give me signs. Because that's one of, where as human beings, we need to see something tangible in order for it to really seem like it's true, right? So when I first started really working with my intuition, I would say, you know what, okay, if this is right, or if this is for my highest and best, then give me signs along the way to show that you're really real. So one of the ways I would ask is, I would say, okay, can you, on the way from my work to here, I want to see at least 1 or 2 signs. And sometimes, that could be turning on the radio and my favorite song would come on. A song that doesn't come on that often, but it would just come on. I was like, oh. Or I'd be driving on the expressway and a big truck with a big sign that says pray on it would just drive by. I'm like, ah. Or, somebody, I would talk with somebody and somebody would say, oh, you know what? I did this because I trusted my intuition. Like, oh, okay. So you would get the signs from anyone or anywhere. But your job is, when you ask for the signs, is for you to acknowledge it and to then say, thank you. Thank you to yourself. Thank you to your intuition. It's like, oh, okay, so that's a sign. Thanks. But show me more. Because I like to make sure that I just like to challenge it, because in the beginning, you just don't know. You're going in a leap of faith, right? And again, the best way to know if it's your intuition, if it's love-based, if there's no fear or insecurities in it, if there's any doubt or insecurity or limiting type of notion in the thought, then it's coming from here. It's coming from the ego mind, which has its own job, its own purpose is to protect us. But when you're working with intuition, something that some people would say is esoteric, but when you're working with that, it's it's coming from your heart, and it's trying to give you direction, and it's trying to open up your antenna, so that way you could start branching out into the person that you've been asking to be. Right.
So, and I love that. And I love one of the pieces that you wrote in your article. And this is my mantra. And so when I saw it written in your article, I immediately connected to it. And that was the section on believing. And I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on, really the concept of our thoughts are really powerful. So what we believe is really what the outcome will eventually be in some way, shape, or form. So you kind of touched upon it there a little bit, but can you expand more on that? And what types, I like what you said, kind of talking back to that voice, asking for signs. But how important is the concept of believing once you see those signs and once you're listening to your voice? Where does believing fit into that? And what are some strategies around how to do that?
Well, that's a good question, because I've asked my kids, so what's the difference between faith and believe? And they would say, I don't know, they're almost the same, aren't they? Aren't they the same? I said, well, for me, I feel that faith is one thing. Believing is just another notch higher. Because when you believe, that means you've experienced something and you just know there's something in it that's just has an element of magnetism or manifestation. I'll give you an example. I believe that I'm a manifestress. It's a word I made. I'm a manifestress, and I step into that manifestress role easily because I've seen situations where I've manifested things, and now I've come to a point where I believe that I'm a manifestress. And this bracelet that I'm wearing here is my reminder. It's my manifestress bracelet. And the story behind that is my husband and I were in Newport a couple years ago, and I wanted to get one of those Alex and Annie bracelets. Yeah. And he said, oh, no, you have way too many jewelry. And I do. I just love jewelry. So finally he talked me out of it, and we went out to dinner, and we were walking somewhat of a rainy Newport evening, and we were just trying to kill time in between dinner and also a nightclub that we wanted to listen to a band. So we were walking, and I was like, I really want that bracelet. I'm like, I really want a bracelet, sterling silver bracelet. And as we were walking down Thames Street in Newport, I looked down, and it was just something shiny caught my eye. I was like, what is this? And it was dark, and it caught my eye, and it was this bracelet.
Wow.
A sterling silver bracelet. I said, what is that? And I picked it up. I was like, oh, I got my bracelet. I got
there
it. There it was, in the dark, rainy night in Newport, right? Nobody else was around except my husband and I, and maybe just some people way ahead of us or way behind us. So, you know what? It's just one of those things that it's self-evident. And the stronger you believe, the quicker it comes. So me labeling myself as a manifestress, it just amps up my power, my manifestress way of trying to create something that's here into something that's tangible. And anybody can do that. And how did I get started? Well, I just started playing the game. It's just a game. It's a winning game. There's no losing, because once you start asking for things from the universe. So this is a little bit beyond the intuition, what I wrote about in the article, because I believe in all positive vibes, positive energy. And there's a lot of support for us. There is our inner voice. There is our higher self. There is the universal energy. There's our angels, guides, masters, teachers, loved ones. We are not alone. So for us to remember that we are not alone. We have our inner voice, our higher self, the angels, guides, the universe that's conspiring for our benefit. The more we could remember that, the more we could put our team to work for us. So that way we don't have to work as hard. So it's as simple as, hey, I want a free parking spot in front of this store. Just set your guides out to do it, and just enjoy the experience of driving into that spot that you just manifested.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, and it's so exciting when you do it. You're like, oh my gosh, I just did that.
Yeah, it's just, oh, okay, cool. And then you want to do it a little bit more, right? So it's a game. It's a game that is a win-win if you start playing it and start believing it. The more you do it, the more you believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that word, you talk about bracelets. This is a bracelet that I wear all the time. You can see it says believe.
Good, love it. Yeah.
And then this is actually a piece from the B brand, and it's double-sided, but on the first side it says be a dreamer, and on the back it says believe. So I am right there with you on the manifestress train. And I think that could be a whole other episode, a whole other workshop. You know, I love that term.
Oh, it is. It's fun. It's fun when you start manifesting things. It's just incredible.
So to kind of bring together everything that we've talked about, because we talked about a lot of little different pieces. So thinking about listening to the voice, the intuition, that was one piece that we talked about. So be willing to hear the voice from what's coming from your heart, your purpose, versus the ego, which is, and the way you know the difference is there's fear attached to the ego. There's more talk like, I can't, I shouldn't, which is going to come in anyway. But when that voice or you hear reoccurring themes coming up over and over again, listening to that. And then you said asking for signs. So if you're hearing something over and over again, finding ways to ask, okay, show me a sign. I'm hearing this. Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Show me a sign, 2 different signs on the way home that say, yes, you need to be teaching stress management workshops. So listening, connecting to the heart, asking for signs, which then kind of led us into believing and manifesting. So believing that as you start to see these signs, the message that you're getting is, yes, this is true. Okay. And now we start to say, well, if this is really where I'm supposed to go, if this is my path, I'm going to need your help, guides, angels, masters, universe. I'm going to need this, and this. Show me how to get there. Show me, you know, Gabrielle Bernstein is one of my favorites. And I think she starts today by saying something like, show me the people that I need to meet, and show me the resources along the way that are going to help me continue to serve my mission and follow my path. And I just love that, because when you ask for it, you know, it's always unexpected. You never know how it's going to come to you, but it always does. Yes. And that's what that manifesting piece that you were talking about. Exactly.
Yeah. I just say, show me the way. Show me the way. Because sometimes I can plan and plan and plan and plan and plan. And sometimes I get myself all wrapped up in my planning, and I get so discouraged and overwhelmed. And after a while, it's just like, show me the way. Show me the way. Because I know there's an easier way.
Yes.
And there's like a graceful drop of something that just gives you it could happen in the shower. Sometimes when I'm taking a shower, it's just like this divine inspiration, just like, or when I'm taking a walk in my neighborhood, or when I'm on the elliptical, it's like, whoop, a little drop of, it was enough to like decrease my stress level that they were able to then jump in and give me what they've been wanting to give me for the longest time, but I was resisting because I was too busy being busy.
Planning your own, like trying to figure it out, right? I can totally relate to that. And I feel like for me too, you know, yoga is my movement. I do a little bit of running and but what you said of, you know, sometimes if you're out for a walk or if you're on the elliptical, that guidance can come in. You can hear that voice because you're getting out of your own way at that point. And they always say the purpose of yoga is to wear out the physical body and the mind. So you're just, it's clear, right? It's a clear channel and things can come in. And so it allows us physical movement, and I'm fascinated by it. Really allows us to get out of our own way and allow us to hear that voice. I'm a planner as well, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to, you know, I've got it all figured out. And a lot of times that's where the surrender comes in, where you just say, you know what, I don't have it figured out. I need your help. You know, show me the way. Show me how to do this. So, so kind of going back to your workshops that you're teaching at Open Doors in Hingham, you know, again, July 30th, and then at the end of August. So the topics that you'll be teaching in your workshop centered around a lot of what we talked about today in connection with your new book, The Happiness Result. Correct?
Right. So the workshop at the end of July is based on the principles from this book, the Happiness Result book. And so just touching base on different elements that can help people start feeling or getting rid of the concept of perfection and allowing awesomeness or feeling awesome be the driving force in our lives, not being perfect, right?
Yes.
Because there's limitations in being perfect. You know, I believe there's no human being that's perfect, really. But what we can have are perfect micro moments with people we love, with friends and colleagues. For us to really cultivate that sense, or even harvest the moments when we feel perfections. But we're all made different shapes and sizes, different colors, different this, and we can't spend our life trying to look or be like another person who we don't even know if that person's trying to be like the other person or the other person. So it becomes like a big chase. So being true to ourselves and feeling awesome with the package that we have in different ways is the best way to live our best life, to get the happiness results. So you can have more time, more health, more love, more success, creating the life that's meant for us, or the one that we've always wanted. So that's the workshop at the end of July. And then the one at the end of August is more diving deeper into mindfulness and gratitude, and how those two different techniques can really be a nice way to also bring you peace and productivity in the midst of your busy day.
So
excited.
I love your tagline, and hopefully I get it right. Your tagline with your workshop and your book, it's perfection is out, awesome is in, right?
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to let go of that perfection.
It is hard because that's the culture, that's the society that we live in day to day. And like you said, it becomes this chasing game of, well, I'm trying to be like this person, but what if this person's trying to be like that person? Rather than just focusing on and accepting who we are and discovering that. I guess that's maybe the element too, is a lot of times we don't really know who we are because we've been chasing these illusions of people and things and lifestyles for so long. It's the process of self-discovery that's a whole other, it's scary, you know?
It's a whole nother talk, because it's a whole other
talk show.
It is because, you know, there's elements of self-compassion in there, and being okay with yourself, you know, being okay to be human, because we focus so much on what's not right about ourselves. You know, it's like, for me, I'm too short, or maybe I'm too this, I'm too that, I'm not thin enough, I'm blah, 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 blah. And we let that run our lives. So when we go out in the world, we think the world sees us as the broken record that's been ruminating in our mind, right? Like, oh, okay, Debbie is out there, she's short and she's dead. But really, maybe that's not what people are seeing. They're seeing somebody different. But it's the delusions, the illusions that we have in our mind that keeps us kind of like small.
I love that. I love that. So true. I think we can all relate to that feeling. You know, we've created this, as you said, this illusion of how we perceive ourselves, stacked up against whatever story we've told ourselves we should be. And then we carry that with us wherever we are. That's how we're operating in the world. And that might not at all be how people see us, but that's how we're showing up. And that can impact what you believe about yourself, self-worth, self-compassion. As you said, it's a whole other slew of conversation.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, because with that comes then an automatic defense system where, so if somebody was to say something, we're already running in that defense. Like, what do you mean? Like, oh, what? You know? So it's just when we are okay with ourselves and allowing ourselves to be us and allowing our true self, true nature to just emerge in an authentic way. And it's like, hey, it's cool, dude. Cool.
Exactly. It's so true. And I've really become aware of this just in the past couple months. I think for my own self reflection and self-discovery is the people that I think we all have a tendency to maybe gravitate to are the ones that are just owning who they are, you know, and they're like you said, they're just doing their thing. And as a result of that authenticity and that willingness just to be accepting of who they are and kind of lead the way, if you will, we're drawn to that in a way as human beings, because that feels good. It feels good just to be okay with who you are. But that's much easier said than done too. You know,
it is. It is. And yeah, those people are very charismatic, aren't they? The people who are just being themselves. Maybe they might be goofy, they might be funny, they might be even angry, but at least they are showing their true selves. There's no pretense and there's no wall that people, we can pick up on that. We may not see this invisible layer, but people can pick up on, it's like, oh, this person's standoffish, or there's something not right about this person. I don't know about this person, you know? I'm sure everybody's experienced that, you know, at some point or another, right?
Absolutely. And to think that it ever goes away, I think is, again, a whole other illusion that, well, eventually I'll get there, quote unquote, you know, wherever there is, or I think there's always, as human beings, no matter how comfortable you are with yourself or, you know, how much self-love and self-work you do, it's human nature that those doubts can creep in sometimes. And it's just, you know, as you said, being aware and training yourself to listen to that voice and knowing when that voice is maybe not serving you, and when that voice is coming through loud and clear saying, let's go this direction. You've got work to do. You know, you've got a purpose to fulfill. We need to move you in this direction. And when that ego is going, don't do that, don't wear that, you're not good enough, you can't do this, you don't have enough money, you know, just that talk that's not helping to serve our higher purpose, and knowing the difference between the two. I swear I could sit and talk to you for hours. I tell you.
Same here.
So we probably need to, and I would love to, as maybe after you teach your workshop on July 30th at Open Doors in Hingham, and after the book has launched, circle back with you and talk with you again. And, you know, maybe we talk more about a principle from the book, or maybe we talk more about being I'm going to mess it up, the term that you use, manifestress.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
So yeah, like I would love to talk more, because I feel like there's so much we could get into in these conversations. And I really connect to the way that you are able to share, again, such, I mean, it's not tangible, right? You can't touch it, you can't see it, you can't feel it. So as a result, we have to believe that something is there, you know, the metaphysical, the energetic piece of what we're talking about here. And that's difficult for people. So I think the more we can have conversation around it and connect it to day-to-day life and help people figure out ways to integrate it, you know, into their life, the better. So I would really love to continue these conversations, and I'm so excited for your book coming out, The Happiness Result. So can you tell people where they can purchase your book? Is it on Amazon? Will it be on your website? Where can we go to get The Happiness Result?
Okay, right now it's you can pre-order it on my website, thehappinessresult.com, and at the end of the month it'll be available on Amazon. So, and also at the end of the month, I'll be doing 7 days of awesomeness celebration. Yeah, so every day, if you want to join me on Facebook, every day we'll touch upon a principle from the book. So awesome stands for, it's an acronym for authenticity, wonderment, empowerment, self-compassion, optimism, mindfulness, and enjoyment. So every day we'll do something for yourself. I mean, I'll do something for myself that's going to bring out more authenticity in my life that day. And, you know, you or, you know, whoever wants to join can do it as well. So every day for 7 days at the end of the month, you know, we'll be able to have a fun way of really expressing who we are in a nice, light way with the community support. So it'll be good.
I love it. I'm so excited. That's fabulous. Congratulations to you on the book.
Thank
you.
And
just, you know, the work that you're bringing to the world and through your message. And it's just so important. And I feel honored that you get to share it with us here. And so again, your website, thehappinessresult.com.
Yep, that's for the book. Yep.
And your actual, so that's the book website, and your actual website is
healthandhappinessspecialist.com. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's healthandhappinessspecialist.com. And if they, if anybody wanted to find you on YouTube, they would type in Debbie Lyn Toomey or Health and Happiness Specialist.
Debbie Lyn Toomey. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So if you check the description from this episode, all of the links to Debbie's article that she wrote for the Huffington Post, which is fabulous. It's such a powerful, quick read that will be in there. Also links to the book and the website, as well as the YouTube channel. So you can easily find her everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, she's all over the place, sharing her message with the world. And you can also find this episode, the other episode that Debbie and I had a conversation about. It's about a month ago, right?
Yeah.
On very similar conversation. So you can find that there on InspireMeTV at jodiashbrook.com. So thank you, Debbie, again for your time. So excited. Can't wait to have you back. And again, Open Doors Yogastudios.com. Debbie will be with us end of July and end of August. They're in the flesh. So go see her. You can register and reserve your space online.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jodi. I had a great time today. It's fun.
Me too. And I'm going to be practicing my manifestress, asking for signs.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Signs come from all over. Just be on the lookout for it. When you ask for it, be on the lookout and say thank you. Don't ever forget to say thank you.
I love that. Always say thank you. Show appreciation and gratitude.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We will talk soon. And good luck with the book launch.
Great. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.